John Carpenter was recently interviewed about his involvement on the new crossover from Boom Comics, involving both Kurt Russell-based protagonists from his movies Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China.
I just finished reading, I don't know if you want to call it Snake Plissken meets Jack Burton, or the full name, which is Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York.
And the idea of putting them together in one story, they just drive each other crazy in all kinds of great ways.
I love it because, you know, it's two of my two favorite characters played by Kurt Russell teamed up together.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
But hands down, it's just a flat-out, like, rip-off of LAWDOG. What do you guys think?
So let's get this shit going.
Comic books in the 1990s are stereotyped as being about over-muscled men with big guns and gritted teeth engaged in mindless violence. I am totally applying this to this stereotype today with today's offering, with some characters you might have not seen in a while. Epic Comics was Marvel's creator-owned subdivision that printed more mature titles and ones that didn't fit with the Marvel Universe, so that creators could reuse the characters elsewhere. The Heavy Hitters line tended towards macho violence. As a cross-promotion, they did a handful of team-up specials.
We may have mentioned in passing how we really liked this series, but never really got into anything.
We only got, I think maybe we talked because you only got the first 3 or first
No,
5?
I thought I got the first 3.
That's right,
I got 2, 3, and 7, but the 7 was like a tiny 7.
So then you ended up getting the rest, and we read through 7.
And then I read, we read through 7, and then I got 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. And
then I got
Anyway, so it's a 11-issue series.
It's a 10-issue series with a side issue.
A spin-off kind of a issue. I mean, there's technically kind of 2 of those, right?
Kind of, but
one's like not
still
technically part of the series. This one was like
still
mentioned.
part of the series.
Yeah, we did talk about it because there was the thing where we mentioned that there was that scene where it's like, oh, he lost like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The art's amazing. That was one of the first things that stood out to me, and probably you. I mean, generally.
Well done! The art style is very, very unique, especially for its era. Because that time people over-exaggerate it, more Jim Lee wannabe style.
I've been cool since I have passed never. I've been cautious, I've been clever. I've been hiding, I've been waiting, man. I've been drinking my medication, living dreaming shades of blood. I won't stop flying!
Who is LAWDOG? Wondering who LAWDOG is? LAWDOG is an interdimensional patrolman who travels a lost highway, driving around looking for anomalies that don't fit in that dimension and kicking them the fuck out. He drives a badass red muscle car.
Which is a badass fucking red Deathmobile.
Yeah.
Cuts off his pinky, can get the wave of his trigger finger, and has a sexy teenage sidekick. Fuck yeah! Yeah, I sound like a pedophile saying that shit, but...
What's her name, Lana?
It's Lena, you fucking dumbass. Come on. Carolina, Lena, for short. Come on, get it right.
So LAWDOG, which is the first issue on the bottom, the interdimensional highway patrolman.
Think Mad Max meets Men in Black meets Rick and Morty. You can call them Dimension 7, if you will.
Which I feel is a good, short one-line.
He refers to it as the Lost Highway. He rides through. He's like a dimensional policeman.
Yeah.
So when bad guys,
when something in a universe is not awry, somebody there's interdimensional travel.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be where they are.
I'm not even supposed to be here today!
LAWDOG comes in.
First adventure, he, starts off basically with LAWDOG being LAWDOG, killing zombies that don't belong in whatever dimension of the Lost Highway, right?
Well, then he runs into this girl who her and her bandmates got lost in a different dimension.
Yeah.
And
or whatever
she runs
dimension.
off on him because she seems like she's being a real cunt in the beginning.
Why did you make Lena Necro-Nicky in this scene?
Just like a fucking...
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Not knowing that they had accidentally driven into a different dimension.
She gets attacked
by a bunch of monster people, because they shouldn't be, or maybe it's their dimension.
I mean, they could have monster people. Those could be like Hills Have Eyes people, and they just...
I love the Hills Have Eyes.
They just broke down, and she's like,
Take me, Garth.
Where?
I'm low on gas and you need a jacket.
First couple books, kind of the drama that happens is because she's hungry, and there's these random things on her jacket or she's wearing that offend.
Yeah, she's like in a punk band.
She's in a metal band, not a punk band, you. So the first stop they go to is, it seems like a regular, hotel in a small town. Then when she leaves the room, because she's a stupid teenager, doesn't listen to what LAWDOG says when he says don't leave the room because this country's not the same. She leaves the room and there's McBeebies, as in a satanic version of McDonald's. When they say shit like, welcome to McBeebies, you may go to hell. Welcome to McBeebies, how the hell can I take your order? And of course, because she's wearing a cross, they see a cross, and she has to be a sacrifice for the giant maggot, basically. And you didn't notice, this dimension is what if the world was run by devil worshippers.
And then what happened?
LAWDOG runs into local, vigilantes who are all Christian themed, because in this world, to be taboo, you gotta be Christian, because you get the idea. They get rescued by the Christian soldiers, and LAWDOG tells them that just to lie to their parents about what happened. They're teenagers, just become natural. And then they go, and then they head to they drive off in the sunset. Next place they land in, a world run by the Third Reich. And this time it's even more, and of course she's wearing an iron cross, and shit happens there. And yeah, it's pretty crazy what ends up happening there. It's giant Nazi mech and all that shit.
The characterizations they had, the characters themselves, they're very exaggerated, so good. A couple of the books had guest artists, which was interesting to see other people's interpretation.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
LAWDOG gets injured in the process of fighting the Nazis in the Nazi universe. And then after that, they decide, obviously they're on the Lost Highway, and on the run they warp into other universes. One universe they warp into is a place, is kind of like Gotham City, set in the same era as Judge Dredd. You have a Joker Riddler character named the Puzzler, has a giant question mark as a hat. And of course their version of Batman and Robin is Captain Danger and Speed Bump and Speed Break. And in the process, LAWDOG runs over the Quizzler, and Captain Danger wants revenge for killing his enemy. Then on the road, they run into basically what looks like a Judge Dredd knockoff named 999. And of course, LAWDOG and Lena run him over. And then we get to another universe, and it's pretty epic. Basically, long story short, they're stuck on this zombie-filled, dimension, and LAWDOG is dying. Next issue is basically LAWDOG gets resurrected by the company or government that basically owns him.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah, I don't know. What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite?
I've been hiding, I've been waiting, man, neglecting my medication, living through the shades of blood. I won't stop till I am.
Yeah, I know. If you don't know offhand, I know which one mine, I believe. I think I do.
Mine is, it's 7.
I'm pretty sure that's...
Mine is 7. Mine is when he finally...
Because that's where it's and it was the last of the series that we had at the time. So when we read this, it ends on a cliffhanger, and we're like, what the fuck is this?
I owned it for a month before I could actually read it. I love the cover, first off. It's badass. The colors on it are unbelievable. But, yeah, so LAWDOG, he's taking her through his mission, and he gets killed. And because of what his job is, they resurrect him. But it left her in a zombie-filled world.
Well, it's also him.
But it's
finally getting back to her.
Yeah, getting back to her and finding that she's turned in 6 months. Her hair turned white from the experience, and she's a badass. Leading the.
It's like a zombie world.
Yeah, it's kind of like Walking Dead, and she joined up with Rick and that crew and fucking started shooting zombies in the head. But I don't know, it was badass. She quit being a little whiny bitch.
It's about time.
What was your least favorite one?
That one's pretty easy. It would be the Grimrod one.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
It's just the way the cover's still the original artist.
Yeah.
But the interior art was
that's LAWDOG.
Yeah, he looks completely different. And his look.
LAWDOG driving through a desolate, radiated wasteland with the nominal readings off the scales. He hasn't been here before. He notes some sort of energy being performing scavenging activities. He's not interested until suddenly his head is spiked with pain and searing directions into the beams. It lifts the car up into the spacecraft, the source of the anomaly rating. It doesn't belong to this plane of reality. He left Lena on a plagued world full of hostile zombies. In fairness, not his fault, and has been trying to get back to her ever since. Lana decided to get some answers and shoot people not necessarily in that order. Not that far in a cosmic term, Jugger, Grimrod, and Nomad, basically the French for Legion in space, or Alien Legion, is bored out of his mind and is currently inside of cargo inspection in the Blackwater sector. His crew, who may all be nil, I remember Alien Legion only very faintly, cowered behind him, and as he asked that he did too late his snooze fest. Then the ship is observed blowing right past the customs blockade. Very fast but slightly sub-light. Grimrod hates it when they run. On the ship itself, LAWDOG is getting nowhere, but he's getting there determinedly. He can actually feel the anomalies piling up as this ship has crossed multiple realities. Also, the headache is back, and he realizes it's a mental distress signal. The only good thing is that there's no way to elect his mysterious bosses can interrupt, as even their tech won't find him thus far away. No sign of the crew, and there's an acid stink. And Grimrod and crew suit up, lock and load to prepare for boarding. LAWDOG sticks to the shadows for now, sneaking towards the location of the distress call. He now realizes that it's the anomaly detection gear in his skull and allowing the telepathic contact. Grimrod has the time to remove the starter from his ship so that the mech can't run away. The ship's crew come up on attack vehicles that aren't any species known, commandeers and attack craft. LAWDOG reflects that he vastly prefers traveling on a vehicle he controls, preferably one made in Detroit. Also, he's getting really ticked off at the telepathic pain spike. While battling the crew, he has a catwalk blast out from under it. It makes sense that something bad is about to happen, but Grimrod shrugs it off in their natural cowardice. LAWDOG has just about made his peace with final death still falling. The two protagonists engage in a fist fight in the custom of their people. After a couple of pages, the ship's crew interrupts by attacking them. The mech suggests a tactical patrol. LAWDOG asks if they're Grimrod's friend, to which Grimrod replies that he has no friends, which doesn't surprise LAWDOG. On an elevator, the two humanoids engage in what's an acceptable term for what used to be called a Mexican standoff, until the men clarify that they should join forces against the mutual enemy. LAWDOG has another pain spike and explains that the prisoners who is calling for rescue. The stasis field is too heavily guarded, so that the men are set off to create an inversion by blowing up stuff. This is the only scene where Mick shows any individuality. LAWDOG and Grimrod jump into the room and start trying to shut down the stasis bubble. Despite the mental messages making LAWDOG ever more confused and angry, until he suddenly makes a realization. I've been forced to create in the bubble and blow up its harmless appearance. LAWDOG riddles his body with bullets. Modern human power by creating anomalies in which reality passed through. Eventually, this would have led a multiversal collapse. Grimrod is confused and angered by metaphysics and wants to know how they'll get home. Turns out that without the mojocop keeping the anomalies open, they will heal up and reality will snap.
Shut up and get to the point!
I mean, I guess if somebody just picks this up, it's to sell them on the series, maybe, but that's not selling me on the series.
I like the cover.
Yeah, because it's by the original artist. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is probably what I should have shown. That's LAWDOG. By the original.
See his giant earring.
I mean, just the art style. It's just like
even
Grimrod.
Got, I wanted Grimrod. Look at that guy.
Yeah. Right. Issue 8 happened after the cliffhanger.
Awesome cover.
Again, always all the art's amazing. By the original artist. Here's another.
Looks like he's getting shot.
Yeah. It's just, I love that. It's got so much character to it, you know? It's not just like generic people looking like drawings. But yeah, so this was, it's like, it starts off and it's super meta, like, oh, it's the artist
and the
in
writer.
his studio and the writer, and they're like, the stories about how they don't have.
It's kind of an homage to Stanley and Jack Kirby used to.
And then what happened?
What happened to what was his first mission like? LAWDOG, and that's the artist representation.
I kind of like that one.
It's too clean. It's like exactly straight ahead. It's just there's no character to it. It's like the most.
I like the story.
Boring as fuck.
What? The fuck?
It just
Bland.
wasn't what we fell in love with this book.
This is
for
not
the art.
This is not action either. It's just like there's no like every image in these other ones. There's like movement and things are happening. This is like still frame. Like there's no real any kind of life to it.
What? Yeah. There were like 3 different guest artists, 3 different stories.
Yeah.
I liked, even though it was super different, the Captain Danger story.
Oh yeah!
So it's more on this other superhero group that was in.
It reminds me of like early Nickelodeon cartoons.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
So the first story was LAWDOG's first mission, and then this was how Lana escaped from the train in the zombie land.
Yes,
because she got captured by them.
And why that guy speaks with a lisp.
Yeah, it explains. I mean, she gets her hair starts turning, and
then what happened?
Then the final conclusion where LAWDOG saves the day and he kills his doppelganger.
it never got bad. Like, that was the one thing I read, I don't know, first couple, and she was like, oh, she's fucking annoying, she's the problem. Like, she gets in trouble.
I even told her, I was
he's
like, no, it's better after that. And you're like, alright.
It does, yeah, but it's like, man. But yeah, it gets so good. And the art is what does it. If you don't get the artist, I don't give a shit. All these other artist portrayals of LAWDOG, some are better than others, but none of them hit it.
No.
Like once again.
Shades of death when I am near. Reflection of the you feel. Out through hiding, out through waiting, drag people, Satan. Living, dreaming shades of death. I may die, but I won't rest. I won't rest.
Chuck Dixon's the writer. Flint Henry.
Flint Henry, if you're out there, congratulations.
Do more work.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe or I will scratch your eyeballs out.